The Indian Film Festival gets underway in Melbourne today, and here for the launch is one of Bollywood's biggest stars, Anil Kapoor.
He's been singing and dancing his way through Indian cinema for decades in a highly celebrated career. But you might know him better from his role as the quizmaster in the Oscar-winning film Slumdog Millionaire.
The Three Musketeers. Two of the musketeers are called Athos and Porthos. What was the name of the third musketeer?
I'd like to phone a friend.
Here we go. You are on your own, Jamal.
Hello? Oh, and the evil quizmaster is thwarted at the last minute. We welcome to the program the delightful Anil Kapoor. Good morning and welcome.
Such a pleasure.
It's great having you here. Can we just quickly apologise for the construction noise that we can all hear in the background here today?
It reminds me of India.
In what way?
Noise pollution.
Thank you.
Now, it's a big deal, this Indian Film Festival. What role will you be playing in it?
Well, I'm just, actually, to be honest with you,
Swanning
in a
around
way.
having a nice time?
yeah, nice time, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my first visit to Australia.
Is it really?
really?
Yeah.
Never been here, never been here.
Why have we never invited you before, Anil? I'm feeling embarrassed about
I
that.
must ask all the organisers.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a huge festival. It's in its 14th year now. It's
the fourth year.
40th, yes, I'm sorry. A really big event. There's a very big Indian population, as you know, in Australia outside of India. Why do you think it's been so successful and so well supported in a country like this?
I think India is, growing economically as well as where films are concerned. There is actually Indian films are watched only by the Indian diaspora, Indians and Asians all over. But now even there is a certain kind of crossover audience also which is watching Indian films, which is very heartening. Actually, that's one of the reasons. Somewhere I think there are films which are the scenario is changing. It's not only about song and dance anymore now.
Yes.
The films are much more real, and of course. And Slumdog Millionaire was just the beginning, I feel, somewhere, because it was a completely film with all Indians in it. It was directed by a British director, but that was just the beginning. That's what I always felt, where, again, it became very alive. There were certain masters who had made Indian films, which were worldwide, like the Academy Award winner, Satyajit Ray. His films are also being showcased this year in the festival, which I'm very, very proud and honored to. So, I've been seeing them again and again, but they're being shown again over here. But I think Slumdog Millionaire made the difference, I feel. And
this festival will be highlighting films focused on inequality, gender in India. Are more of those sort of films being made?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you see there are these young filmmakers, writers who are now thinking very, very globally. We are not only catering to Indian sensibilities, but somewhere there are films which are appealing to the global audience also.
The opening weekend coincides with India's Independence Day, so I guess you'll be celebrating that here rather than there.
Absolutely. I've been honoured to hoist the Indian flag at the Federation Square. Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Big honour.
You've been describing there about how the Indian cinema, and it's a huge industry in India. I think the phrase Bollywood really misrepresents it. It's much more broad than that. But you've been talking about how it's been changing. On Indian Independence Day, from sitting inside India, how would you say that country has evolved and changed over the last, say, 10, 15 years, where there's been enormous economic and cultural change too?
I think it's changed. It's become much more democratic in a way. It was always democratic. But here now the youth is, the major population. It's one of the youngest countries today, and they make all the difference. So all the opinions and, matter of fact, I feel somewhere our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, to a certain extent, I feel had a landslide victory more because of the youth supported him. So in a way, they are basically making all the difference. The majority of the population is below 25 years. Which makes all the difference, yeah.
You've had such a long career in the film industry. What sort of roles do you focus on now? What roles excite you in the many scripts you're undoubtedly offered?
Well, not the typical singing and dancing now. So I've been very, very fortunate. There's one film which is going to be showcased where I play the patriarch a film called Dil Dhadakne Do, which was a huge success in India and as well as in Australia. So we are screening the film in Melbourne.
Yep.
And so I played the head of a dysfunctional Punjabi family, head of the family,
Yes.
the patriarch, and it's a very grey role. It's not as mean as the role which I played in Slumdog.
Yeah, well, he's mean, yeah.
But here he's completely black.
Well, that just sounds like any Hollywood film about a dysfunctional family, in a sense.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Speaking
yes.
of dysfunctional families, is it true you're trying to adapt Modern Family, the US hits,
Yes.
to India?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
I did 24, which
Yes,
I
yeah.
adapted in India, and I played Jack Bauer in India.
Yes.
And in Modern Family, obviously, I'm just more as a producer, so I'm going to adapt. That's my next format, which is I'm going to adapt in India. Yes.
And will it have the same concerns of gay families and blended families?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting indicator that the modern audience in India for films and for television series is a lot broader than it's been represented perhaps outside of India.
And absolutely, yeah. You'll be very, very surprised. Very surprised. Yeah, things are changing. Absolutely.
Now, I also need to ask you whether there's a particular figure that was published, of course, and revealed to the world last week, which was of 0 for 60, none for 60. Whether that meant anything to you when you learnt that the Australian team had been bowled out in England for a score of none
don't
for
get it
60.
started.
I just thought, that a key Indian ambassador might have something to say about the Australian cricket team.
See, the success of a film and a cricket team is absolutely unpredictable. It might be 0, it might be 600 the next day.
Yes.
So that's what life is, and that's what makes cricket the religion on our country, and films, which is the culture of our country. Unpredictable, but still the most exciting thing.
Thank you, Anil.
Nicely
right
played.
answer.
Nicely
right
played.
answer.
Thank you.
Anil, welcome to Australia and have a great time while you're here.
Thank you. Looking
Thanks
forward.
very much.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.